welcome back. I'm Stephanie, your host here at the Leaderboard, and we're bringing to you 107 facts that you should know about The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Let's get started. Number 1. The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time is a 1998 action video game developed by Nintendo's Entertainment Analysis and Development Division for the Nintendo 64 home video game console. Number 2. First shown at a technical demo at Nintendo's Shoshinko trade show in December of 1995, Ocarina of Time was developed concurrently with the Super Mario 64 by Nintendo's Entertainment Analysis and Development Division. Number 3. It was released in Japan on November 21st, 1998. Number 4. Originally developed for the 64DD peripheral, Nintendo ended up instead releasing it to its 256 megabyte cartridge, which was the largest capacity cartridge that Nintendo had produced at the time, making Ocarina of Time the largest game Nintendo had ever created. Number 5. Ocarina of Time is the 5th game in the Legend of Zelda series, and the very first one with 3D graphics. Number 6. Ocarina of Time's gameplay system introduced some crazy awesome features that really changed 3D adventure games, including the target lock system and the context-sensitive buttons. Number 7. In its lifetime, Ocarina of Time has seen 1.14 million copies sold in Japan, and 7.6 copies have been sold worldwide. Number 8. Ocarina of Time possesses the highest average score of all professional video games, and it's usually considered one of the best video games of all time. Number 9. While it's hard to imagine a Zelda game where you actually don't see the hero of time, Kozumai-san reveals that Morimoto-san actually wanted it to be a first-person perspective. Number 10. Ocarina of Time's music was composed by Koji Kondo. He's the composer in charge for most of the Legend of Zelda series games. Number 11. In addition to the characters in the game having musical themes, areas of Hyrule are also associated with different pieces of music. This has been called leitmotif in reverse. Instead of music announcing and entering a character, it's now introducing a stationary environment as the player approaches. Number 12. The popularity of Ocarina of Time led to more ocarina sales. Number 13. The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time Master Quest is an alternate version of the Ocarina of Time. The game was originally developed as an add-on for the 64DD. However, due to 64DD's lack of popularity, it was actually never released outside of Japan. Number 14. Master Quest contains exactly the same storyline as the original, but it includes altered layouts and more numerous enemies. And trying to solve the puzzles in the same way that you were solving them in the original game actually often leads to a trap. Number 15. Ocarina of Time 3D is a remake of the original game, and it retains mainly the same amount of gameplay. The only differences are updated graphics and control options. Number 16. A tech demo for the Nintendo 3DS depicting an enhanced remake of the opening cinematics for Ocarina of Time, in which Link rides Epona across Hyrule Field, was revealed at the 2010 Electronic Entertainment Expo. Number 17. The hardware on the Nintendo 3DS allows for enhancements to the gameplay. The built-in gyroscopes of the 3DS allow the player to aim the fairy slingshot, the fairy bow, boomerang, hook shot, and long shot when in a first-person perspective by tilting the 3DS. The use of the gyroscope is optional, and the circle pad can be used for control instead of or at the same time as the gyroscope while in these modes. Number 18. Additions include Master Quest and Boss Challenge. Unlike the GameCube version, the entire game is mirrored to further confuse players. Room layouts in the dungeons are also altered. Enemies also deal twice as much damage as the original. Boss Challenge, meanwhile, provides players with the opportunity to face any boss they have defeated once again, or to confront them all in a continuous battle gauntlet. Number 19. A very early screenshot of Ocarina of Time shows Link receiving the Triforce itself from the treasure chest. However, such a scene never occurs anywhere in the final game. Despite this, there has been great speculation as to whether the Triforce exists in Ocarina of Time as an obtainable item, as it does in the other Zelda games. Number 20, as written in the Hyrule Historia, the Zelda in Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask is chronologically the 4th Zelda in the Unified Timeline, and the 1st Zelda in the Child Timeline. She is also technically the one responsible for the timeline split. Number 21, Zelda is Sheik. I'm sure you already knew that. Number 22. Although the Sheik is intended to appear masculine, it's unclear whether Princess Zelda is physically transforming into a male or if she's simply dressed to make herself look like one. Regardless of the debate, Nintendo did give their answer in an interview from Polygon published in August 5th, 2014. Here's a quote from the article. Sheik is a woman, simply Zelda in a different outfit. Additionally, a gossip stone in the Hyrule Castle grounds says, they say that contrary to her elegant image, Princess Zelda of Hyrule Castle is in fact a tomboy. Ain't no problem with that, Princess Zelda. Tomboys all the way. Number 23. The game creators also seem to be fond of a little romance between the characters. Though it was never directly stated, Shigeru Miyamoto revealed in an interview conducted by Flamimaga64 that Navi is jealous of Princess Zelda and has feelings for Link. Number 24. Shigeru Miyamoto has stated that Zelda's name was inspired by Zelda Fitzgerald. The name Zelda is generally believed to be Germanic in origin, meaning the gray fighting maid or woman warrior. Number 25. It is noteworthy that Zelda's name can be associated with the fourth letter of the Greek alphabet, Delta, which is shaped triangularly like the Triforce. Number 26. Navi stands as a milestone in the Legend of Zelda, as she is the very first of many sidekick companion characters that would appear in the later games in the series. She's also the very first character with voice acting, speaking words like, "Hey, watch out and listen." Number 27. Her voice acting was provided by Kuroki Misuwasha, who would later provide her voice for Ciela, another one of Link's fairy companions, in The Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass. Number 28. There are many theories as to why Navi just unexpectedly leaves Hyrule. One of these is the fact that Link isn't actually a Kokiri, that she's never meant to have been his fairy companion in the first place. So once his quest is fulfilled, Navi leaves. Another theory, however, is that Navi has romantic interest with Link, and she realizes that they're never going to have anything. So she decides to leave him before she has to face the rejection. For Navi, I'm sorry girl, heartbroken. Number 29. Navi departs in the Temple of Time in the Ocarina of Time. She cries out, "Link, I love you," lending further credence to the theory that Navi has a romantic interest in Link. Number 30. In an interview with Toru Awasawa, he was quoted to have said that he named Navi based on the Japanese word to navigate, which makes sense because Navi navigates the player. Her English name Navi is similarly based on the English word to navigate. Number 31. As written in Hyrule Historia, the Link in Ocarina of Time is chronologically the fourth Link in the unified timeline, and the first Link in the child timeline. Number 32. Link bears a resemblance to Peter Pan, as they're both elf-like, they wear green clothing, they fight with swords, and they're sometimes accompanied by a fairy. Link also fights a shadow in some games, just like Peter does. Number 33. Link's name is based on his status as a link between the game and the player. As stated by Eiji Onuma, when a player is playing a Zelda game, they desire to truly become Link, and so therefore we named him Link, so that the player is linked to the game and to the experience. Number 34. The character Link has been well received by fans and critics alike. In the 1988 and 1989 Nintendo Power Awards given by the Nintendo Power magazine, readers voted him as the very best character. In 2005, Link and his creators were awarded stars on the Walk of Game, along with Sonic the Hedgehog and Mario. Also in one of IGN.com's 2007 Hero Showdowns, Link was voted the favorite hero. Number 35. One famous example of this is found in the Final Fantasy game, where on a gravestone you read, "Here lies Link, 837 through 866 RIP. However, it was later changed to Edric, a Dragon Warrior hero, in the American NES and European PlayStation versions. Number 36. Link has also made a few cameos in television shows, such as South Park, Robot Chicken, and the Powerpuff Girls. Can I just say I really love the Powerpuff Girls? I really love the Powerpuff Girls. Number 37. In the castle courtyard room with Princess Zelda, if Link shoots through a left window with the fairy slingshot, a guard will stick his head out and yell, "Hey you, don't cause any trouble." He will then throw a bomb at Link. But it only happens once, so if you keep trying it, nothing's gonna happen. Number 38. When Link receives the Gerudo membership card, the outfit of the Gerudo thief who gives it to him varies according to Link's equipped tunic, depending on whether Link is wearing the Kokiri, Goron, or Zora tunic. Her clothes will appear green, red, or blue, respectively. Number 39. Like the mature Dodongos, baby Dodongos will eat any explosive weapon, bombs, bomb flowers, and even bomb chews, resulting in an instant kill. Despite this fact, baby Dodongos will actively seek out any nearby bomb in order to eat one, and will even try and chase after bomb chews. Number 40. If Link kills enough stall children, Guais, or Leavers, a larger version of the enemy will appear. Upon defeat, a bigger stall child or Guai will usually drop a blue rupee, while a bigger Leaver will usually leave a set of 3 rupees, either blue or red. During a single night, every big stall child encountered will be slightly larger than the last. This can result in an extremely large stall child, and if you use a cheating device, it can make the night last indefinitely. Number 41. Besides his sword, Link can also use an empty bottle, or even the Megaton Hammer, to knock Ganondorf's energy attacks back at him. The Megaton Hammer will also make a floor tile fall away, just as Ganondorf can do when he punches the ground. Number 42. When playing the Fairy Ocarina or the Ocarina of Time, holding the control stick in any direction will change the sound of the ocarina notes. Up and down will raise and lower the pitch. Left and right will add a waver to the note. Number 43. As in several other Zelda games, if Link damages the Cuckoo enough, it will crow and summon a vast number of its kind and attack Link. Due to the quantity of enemies and their relatively quick movement speed, this can actually be quite dangerous early on in the game when Link only has a few heart containers. If Link enters a new area though, the Cuckoos will stop attacking him. Number 44. During the game's final battle, if Link manages to get behind Ganon and throw a Deku Nut at his tail, Ganon will actually take damage as if Link had used another weapon, such as the Megaton Hammer or the Bigoron Sword. Number 45. As a child, if Link walks all the way up to the drawbridge at Hyrule, he can get 3 invisible red rupees, one on the top of each chain and one in the middle. These rupees reset every time that Link re-enters Hyrule Field, and it can be used again to gain a large amount of rupees very quickly. Number 46. After receiving the Ocarina of Time, Link can encounter a dying guard in the Hyrule Castle town's back alley. If spoken to, the guard will tell Link about Ganondorf's attack on the castle and then die. Attempting to talk to the guard again prompts Navi to tell him he's not moving anymore. Number 47. If the game is left on after the end credits, an ocarina will play periodically in various pitches. This is not possible in The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D, as approximately 5 seconds after the end appears on the screen fades to black. Number 48. Using a glitch. If Link manages to enter the Gerudo's fortress as a child, there will be a piece of heart in the jail cell and not in the treasure chest where it's normally found. The chest instead will contain an odd mushroom. Collecting this heart piece in addition to the game's other 36 will cause an extra piece of heart to be displayed in the quest status subscreen. Number 49. If Zelda's lullaby has been learned, Link can play the song to make any rectangular sign he destroys put itself back together. Number 50. Playing Epona's song in front of a cow will cause it to speak to Link and fill an empty bottle with Lon Lon milk if he has one. Number 51. After lighting the torches in Goron City, as young Link, the large Goron vase will spin around. If Link throws a bomb or bomb flower into it, rupees, bombs, or a piece of heart will come out, depending on the face that it stops on. Number 52. The gossip stones that are scattered across Hyrule will respond amusingly to being hit by a variety of weapons. This includes wiggling around before telling Link the in-game time if stuck with Link's sword, flattening for several seconds if hit by the Megaton Hammer, and spinning around rapidly and momentarily growing in size if touched by Din's Fire or a magic arrow, and changing from blue to red while beeping until eventually blasting off like a rocket if bombed. Gossip stones give no reaction to Deku Nuts or Deku Sticks. Number 53. Jump attacks that are performed with the Megaton Hammer will deal no damage to the Skulltulas, Gold Skulltulas, or Big Skulltulas. Those strikes to a wall will dislodge and kill any Skulltulas nearby. Number 54. Hitting the ground with a Megaton Hammer will cause any nearby Tektites or Torch Slugs to flip upside down, but if you hit the ground again, it'll flip them back up to their normal position. Number 55. In Kakariko Graveyard, the 4th tombstone from the right in the back row of the regular graves conceals a hidden hold with a chest in it. Inside this chest is a Hylian shield, but only if Link does not concurrently have one. If he does, the chest simply contains a blue rupee. Number 56. This one is for all of those that like to go fishing. The sinking lure is irresistible to fish. They love it. Once Link has the lure, it becomes much easier to catch the largest fish in the pond, although it'll be marked as illegal by the pond owner. But if you go ahead once you find that sinking lure and select "Let's talk about something," the pond owner will render it as legal and will allow you to use it. Number 57. The Hyrule Loach is extremely rare and very difficult to catch. Unless you have the sinking lure, it's almost impossible to find him. After finally catching one, Link can present it to the pond owner for a purple rupee. The owner will then release the fish due to the fact that it's very rare, so he won't keep record of what the weight or the size of it is. Link will have to exit and re-enter the fishing pond if he wishes to catch another loach. Number 58. When Link goes to see Princess Zelda for the very first time, if he is spotted by the guards while in the castle grounds, they will toss him out in front of the gate. Talking to the guard after being thrown out, or simply speaking with him repeatedly, results in the guard soliciting a bribe of 10 rupees to open up the gate. If Link talks to him after paying the bribe, the guard will say, "Keep it a secret from everyone." This is a reference from the infamous dialogue of the secret moblin from the original The Legend of Zelda game. Number 59. On the bottom of the pool inside the lakeside laboratory, a still image of a large shark can be seen pressing its face against the left set of iron bars. Number 60. While difficult for Link to defeat the hostile Skull Kids as an adult, he can do it, especially with the added range and damage that the Vigorant Sword provides. Upon death, these enemies drop a huge rupee that's worth 200 rupees. Number 61. Ice arrows appear to be the strongest of all the magic arrows. Besides immobilizing enemies in ice for a short time, ice arrows kill common enemies such as blue Tektites in one hit. Number 62. Despite the mirror shield's light reflecting properties, the projectiles Octorotes or Deku Scrub spit at Link are not deflected. It simply breaks them. This is likely added to provide a good reason for switching back to the Hylian shield, so Link can deflect projectiles. Number 63. When in the fishing pond as an adult, Link can actually cast out his fishing rod and catch the pond owner's hat. He can either go ahead and cast it further into the water and let it sink to the bottom, or he can return it. If Link chooses not to return the hat and let it sink to the bottom of the pond owner is going to charge you 50 rupees. And if that hat sinks to the bottom of the pond owner won't have the hat for the remainder of the game, not even during the credits. Hooking the pond owner's hat also prompts him to add another rule to the sign of the pond that says, don't cast at anyone. Number 64. In the castle courtyard with Princess Zelda in it, pictures of Yoshi, Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Bowser as they appear in Super Mario 64 can be seen if Link looks into the castle through the right window. Number 65. Playing the Sun song will cause all Redeads and Gibdos in the currently loaded area to turn white and become paralyzed. A Redead or Gibdo will not move or attack while in the state. Number 66. If Link catches a regular Epona bottle, he can drink it. Doing so will usually refill one heart container. Occasionally this will empty one heart instead, and very rarely it will empty all of Link's heart containers, but one of them. Number 67. As a child, playing the Song of Storms in front of a magic bean plant will cause the plant to grow several feet in the air, releasing 3 healing fairies. Then it will retract back into the ground. Number 68. In the Ocarina of Time 3D, there is a poster with Link's official artwork for The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, hidden behind some crates in the Gerudo's fortress, as well as in Indigo's room at Lon Lon Ranch and the Bonshu shop in the Hyrule Castle town's back alley. Number 69. Inside the Gerudo's fortress are a few cauldrons of bubbling substances inside. Jumping or climbing inside these will usually result in Link receiving a red rupee. Number 70. Scattered throughout the Gerudo fortress are wall ornaments that often consist of colorful feathers and what appears to be a cow skull. When shot with a fairy bow, some of these will reward Link with rupees or even an occasional fairy. Number 71. If Link is a member of Kakariko Village's fabulously rich family with a sword, Link can usually use this opportunity to move behind it and slash it in its vulnerable back. The result is a screaming sound effect and the creature turning blue and stunned for a while. After this, if Link approaches the creature without first exiting and then re-entering the house, it will spin around once in retaliation, damaging Link and knocking him back. Number 72. There used to be a jump button. Yoshiaki Koizumi revealed that the auto jump mechanism that 3D Zelda games are known for actually came along later on the Ocarina of Time's development. At first, just like in Super Mario 64, you had to push a button to make Link jump. This was removed to simplify the experience and to shift the focus from the puzzle elements rather than the action. Number 73. While the Nintendo president Satoru Iwata admits that Ocarina of Time eventually became a massive project that mobilized nearly everyone who belonged to the EAD, it initially started out as a 3-member team. Number 74. Chambara movies were a huge inspiration. It was Takashi Mizu's idea to make a Zelda game with the Chambara action style. He said that when the people talk about The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, they mention various things like an epic story, solving puzzles, trotting across a broad field on a horse, and just how cool Link looks. But it began with the single theme of making a Zelda game that included Chambara style, swashbuckling. Number 75. It all started with Zelda 2. In fact, before Super Mario 64, Koizumi-san had eventually been working on a polygon Zelda 2. We were experimenting with a thin polygon Link, seen from the side and fighting with the sword. He couldn't really bring Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link into form at that time, but I kept that desire to achieving a sword-fighting Zelda game until I joined the team. Well, I'm glad that he stuck with it. Number 76. The idea of Z-targeting came to Koizumi-san while he and Asuwana-san were at a Toy Kyoto studio park. A sword-fighting show at the park is what made it all click. So there's a script and there's a certain setup. The enemies don't all attack at once. When the first guy goes down, then the next one steps in, and so on. Z-targeting flags one particular opponent, telling the other one to wait until it's their turn. Number 77. Navi was originally a triangle. Yes, You heard correctly. Kazuma-san remembers that they wanted to make it easy for players to tell which enemy they were targeting. This triangle eventually became Navi, the loudmouth fairy that we've all come to love and hate at times. Number 78. Link was nearly deprived of a childhood. Yeah, could you imagine not having baby Link? While the concept of going back and forth between childhood and adulthood is now a defining characteristic of the game, at first Link was only going to be featured as an adult. Number 79. Epona is well known as Link's constant companion in the 3D Zelda games, but she almost made her debut in the Super Mario 64. The idea of having a horse in the 3D platform was eventually dropped, but Kozume-san was intent on doing it for Ocarina of Time. Number 80. Link wasn't always a pretty boy. Link is known for his sharp features and his elf ears, but Kozumi-san revealed that his design went through many changes. At first, the Hylian hero actually sported a button nose and more rounded features. Number 81. During early development, the market was number 82. Much like Bowser's laugh is sped up in the Super Mario 64 to create Boo's laugh, Ganondorf's laughter is sped up to create the laughter of the Poe sisters in the Forest Temple. Number 83. Originally, a player would have used a reed whistle to call Epona. This, however, was replaced by Epona's song. Number 84. If Link fails to hit a single target in the shooting gallery, the owner will get angry and will not allow the player to retry until Link leaves and re-enters. He will also avoid looking directly at Link, as opposed to him looking at Link like he usually does. Number 85. Dark Link mimics all the player's moves. The amount of health he has also corresponds to the amount of heart containers the player has by the time they fight him, potentially making him very durable or quite weak. Number 86. In the early versions of the games, Sheik's eyes were blue, but were changed to red in the later versions. Number 87. The owl that follows Link throughout his quest is actually the light sage Rauru. Number 88. A glitch called the wrong warp glitch can be used to teleport the player from the Deku Tree basement to Ganon's tower, as well as several other locations in the game. This glitch can be used to complete the game in a very short period of time. Number 89. Zelda's lullaby sounds extremely similar to the song in 1976 Concerto for Philandron and Pothos by Mort Garson. Number 90. The Night Link fighting in the early Zelda 64 trailer uses the same texture as Metal Mario from Super Mario 64. Number 91. The bass line for the Song of Storms sounds very similar to the bass line for the castle theme from Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. Number 92. After killing a Re-Dead, all the other Re-Deads will come and flock and sit next to that fallen enemy. It's speculated that the Re-Deads are either mourning the loss of a comrade or they are eating the dead corpse. Either one of those really explains it for me. Number 93. The character Seikon can be seen running around the Hyrule Town marketplace. If the player speaks to him, he will say, "Huff, huff, I'm late for a very important date." I wonder where they pulled that one from. Number 94. A time paradox is created in Ocarina of Time. According to Guru Guru and Kakariko Village, Link played the Song of Storms as a child to sped up the windmill. Yet Link is taught the song by Guru Guru as an adult. Because of this, the question of who originally composed the song still remains a mystery. Number 95. In some early versions of the game, blood can be seen throughout. The color then was changed to green in the newer versions. Number 96. The name of Link's horse, Epona, when translated from Gaelish, means great mare and is the Celtic god of horses, donkeys, and mules. Number 97. If you go into the room with the giant statue inside the spirit temple and you aim the hook shot where the nipples used to be, you'll find that you can actually grapple onto them. It's possible that that's a joke by Nintendo. Seriously, nipple grappling? What? Number 98. Throughout the game, you may see a symbol that looks like a crescent moon and a star. This symbol can be found on blocks, floor switches, and even the mirror shield. This symbol has caused some controversy as the moon and the stars resemble an Islamic symbol. In all new re-releases of the game, it has been changed to a new symbol. Number 99. The music for the Fire Temple once had chanting as a part of the background music. Chanting was a stock sound effect that showed up in games like Cruisin' Rolled for N64 and Kakuto Chojin for Xbox. The chanting resembled an Islamic prayer, and seeing the problems that it could have caused, Nintendo decided to change it. Number 100. According to an interview with Yoshiaka Kozumi in the 225th issue of Nintendo Power, the battle against Ganon would resolve around Link having to scale his body, which would have been gigantic at the time. However, it was later changed due to how players could be confused in the fight, and rendering his colossal body at a steady frame rate would have easily strained the N64's hardware. Number 101. Joelle, Meg, Beth, and Amy, the Poes in the Forest Temple, are named after the main characters from The Little Women: Meg, Beth, Amy, and Josephine. Number 102. The sound of the warp whistle, which can be found in the Super Mario 3, can be heard in the title theme. Number 103. In the German version of the game, the Carpenters are named John, Paul, George, and Ringo, after the 60s British pop group The Beatles. Number 104. It's speculated that the Forest and Water temples in the Ocarina of Time were originally wind and ice temples. The symbol on the water medallion from the water temple appears to have a snowflake on it, and the forest medallion design resembles a fan. Number 105. During beta testing for Ocarina of Time, developers added an R-wing to the game to test enemy AI and Z targeting. While it was never actually used in the game, the code can actually still be accessed. You could use Game Shark or Action Replay. Number 106. In the German version of Ocarina of Time, if you speak to Princess Zelda while wearing the Keaton mask, she will say, "What are you?" "Oh, you're one of those golden little pocket monsters, right?" Which is somewhat of a reference between the mask and Pikachu. Number 107. The Hylians, also known as the Hylia people, are a recurring race of humans in the Legend of Zelda. They are creatures that worship the goddess Hylia, from which their name derives. The Hylians are the original race of Hyrule. Hey guys, thank you for watching the show. If we've missed anything, let us know in the comments below. Also, give us a like and leave me a comment if you like what you see. Thanks to you guys, I was brought back on, so if you want to see me again, leave me a comment or a like. Also, please do subscribe if you like what you're watching. Thanks, guys.